A Week Away was a musical film that premiered on Netflix in 2021. Now, 4 years later, the story continues as a series from Angel Studios. I'll tell you what, as soon as I heard that there was going to be more to see from this summer camp, I was all in. For a while, I was actually hopeful that Netflix would bring back the movie for a sequel, but having it be adapted to a TV show makes even more sense to me, and I'm all for it. Angel Studios was kind enough to send me the very first episode a little bit early to get an early look at it, but the real question is if it does the film any justice. Let's find out. If you didn't see the movie, both the film and the series are essentially about the same exact thing. You have a pessimistic, unhappy teenager who is forced to go to a Christian summer camp where they just, they have a ton of fun, they sing a ton of songs, and ultimately they learn a few life lessons along the way. Basically what you actually do at summer camp, if you've ever gone. While it is considered to be a continuation of the story that we saw in the film, it's mostly a new set of characters in a history repeats itself, soft reboot kind of way. I grew up going to a Christian summer camp myself, and I have a lot of nostalgia looking back to those days, and maybe that's why I like the movie more than I probably should have. I called that film essentially the Christian version of High School Musical, and apparently not without merit. Adam Watts, who wrote the songs for the original film as well as the TV series, also worked on songs on all 3 High School Musical films, and you can feel the same type of over-the-top energy, excitement, and joy in both High School Musical and A Week Away. I was just personally hopeful that the series would, at the bare minimum, feel like the movie counterpart, and thankfully it does. A Week Away, the series, has the same exact soul and personality of the film. Similar to the movie, A Week Away, the series contains both original songs and the classics that you might literally sing while you're at summer camp. The very first episode contains one incredibly energetic original song that starts the entire thing off on a bang, and one mashup of a classic, Amazing Grace, mixed together with an original song that's also kind of a cynical spin on Amazing Grace. If you saw the original movie, they did the same thing more or less with Our God is an Awesome God. Another comparison that I'll make to the original movie is that one of its biggest strengths was being able to speak to a wider audience. Both people that are heavily into faith or Christian-based media, and those that aren't so much, whether they're on the fence or completely against religion. It did so in a way that was hard to explain, but I believe wholeheartedly that most Christian films that attempt to convert people into religion don't usually work very well, but A Week Away, at the very least, had that potential just because it was warm, relatable, nostalgic, and fun. It did something remarkable by taking me back to summer camp myself in my mind, and it reminded me what that felt like. While I think that the movie did do this significantly better than the TV series, I will also admit that the TV show just begun. By turning this into a TV show, Angel Studios has one main advantage that the film didn't have. It has time. Time to really introduce these characters and have each and every single one of them play a more vital role than the film could ever do. So it has the potential to have some really good character development moments. I've only seen the first episode, so I don't know if they'll do that or not, but it has the potential. So I'm definitely hopeful for the future of this series in general. I can tell you that if the first episode is a good example to go off of, each episode will be roughly 30 minutes long. And by the end of the first episode, you'll want to binge the rest of the series. If you love the movie, you'll be enamored with the series. If I had only one negative to point out, it would be a very technical issue, and that would be with the ADR work, especially for the main character of Max, played by Antonio Cipriano. I felt as though I could hear the static noise of his environment whenever he would be speaking his lines, which after he spoke his line, that static noise would immediately cut off. Though I will also say I did see an early screener, which doesn't necessarily mean this technical flaw will be on the final product, so I'm gonna take it with a grain of salt. In general, this is a series that I am personally really happy exists. I may have been one of the only ones waiting months to see it, but I remember watching the film, then immediately going back to watch the songs in the movie, and then immediately going back to listen to the soundtrack on its own, which honestly isn't really something that I've done since probably The Greatest Showman. So truthfully, I can't wait until I do the same for the series too. So it is a recommendation from me. Thankfully, I don't have to wait too long to see the next episode, right? Because it's just a week away. Get it? Anyways, guys, have you seen the new series from Angel Studios? Are you a fan of it? What did you think about that original film? Did you go to a summer camp just like it? Let me know, and as for YouTube, you guys know what to do. Hit the like, subscribe button, and bell to be notified when I come out with my next review, whenever and whatever that may be on. And until then, peace out.